How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Rangers Rundown. They put together another win in Philadelphia. We can argue whether or not this was a good win or a bad win or a lucky win, but it's a win, so that's what we should be focusing on right now. It's a win, and we can argue later, but let's focus on the positive. Gaudreau and Lafreniere still in protocol, but we did get back Gallant and Reeves and Gaudreau. So all three of those back on the team. Hunt still injured, along with Sammy Blais, who we haven't talked about, and some of us have probably forgotten about since he was injured in like the 9th game of the season, but he is also still injured out for the season. Kreider, Zibanejad, Kakko, Panarin, Strome, Chytil still on that second line, and he did well. McKegg, Rooney, and Reeves on the third line, and then Gettinger, Barron, and Gauthier on the fourth line for the Rangers. So Brzezinski gets the benching tonight. Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, Nemeth, Schneider still in, and he did play well tonight. He almost had another goal for his second game in a row, and then Shesterkin in nets. 45 seconds in, Panarin takes advantage of a giveaway, and that leads to an early opportunity for him. 4 minutes in, the second line has a good shift. Backhand from the slot for Chytil, which would foreshadow his goal in the third period. 5:08, Giroux gets called for hooking. It was a pretty weak call, but since I'm rooting for the Rangers, I didn't mind the call at all. At 5:54, Zibanejad would score a power play goal. So it did not take long for the Rangers to take advantage. It was a rocket from the circle. Power play has been on the weaker side for the Rangers as of late, so it was nice to see him put one in the net. It was after that we noticed Schneider was not on the bench, but he would come back pretty soon after. He got a puck to the face during a shift, so he just went to clean up his nose a little bit, little blood. Reeves almost scores net front. I'm still waiting for Reeves to score his first goal of the season. I had a feeling that Reeves might score tonight in his return from protocol, and he got close, but he wouldn't end up putting one in the net. And he said in interviews before that he's not on this team to score goals, so I'm sure he's not really that worried about it. But still, it's going to be nice to see him finally score. 9 minutes in, the shots are 5-0 for the Rangers. Now, that would change because the rest of the period was pretty much Philadelphia coming back, realizing that they hadn't gotten a shot on goal, and then saying, hey, we need to get some shots on goal. 11:45, Lindblom would score a goal, which breaks the shutout streak for Igor. 137 minutes and 42 seconds of shutout time for Igor before it got broken. There was a shot, and then there was a rebound in front. Lindblom takes advantage. Point shot by Philadelphia has a rebound, and it probably would have went in if not for Barron getting in there and getting the puck away from the net. 4 minutes left. Chytil has a partial breakaway. It goes off the post, bounces off of Hart, and is going to trickle over the line if not for Keith Yandle coming in and getting it off of the goal line. So Yandle saves a goal for Philadelphia. First line has a decent shift towards the end of the game. But by the end of the period, shots are 8-6 for the Rangers. So halfway through the game, Rangers have 5 shots on goal. They only get 3 more in the final 11 minutes, while Philadelphia has 6. So they definitely came back and controlled more of the play second half of that first period. Rangers just weren't being physical enough. And you could tell that end of the game hits 33 for Philadelphia against the Rangers 23. So even in Reeves' return to the lineup, Rangers aren't hitting probably as much as they should be. Second period, 3.5 minutes in, Rangers spending more time in the offensive zone, so this period is looking more like the beginning of the first period. A minute later, Shesterkin has a good save, keeping the Rangers in it. 5:28, Hayes takes a tripping penalty. McKegg had Reeves cross crease right before that trip, so McKegg is ready to backhand it through the slot to a wide open Reeves who would have buried it, but McKegg gets tripped up. Couple of chances on the power play for the Rangers, but that would not be successful. Giveaway in the neutral zone leads to a Gettinger chance. Would be nice to see him score a goal. 9:42, Miller takes a holding penalty, and Rooney and McKegg get a shorthanded 2-on-1 early in that penalty kill. 6.5 minutes left. The first line has a great shift, grinding, keeping the puck in the zone, cycling it around, looking for those chances. 2 minutes left. Zibanejad and Kreider almost connect after some pressure from Philadelphia. No shots for Philadelphia in the final 11 minutes of the period. By the end of the period, shots 12-7 in favor of the Rangers. They're leading in shots. The game is tied. You just think the Rangers should be dominating this game more. By the end of the second period, they should have been up 3-1. Like, 1-1, yeah, they're not losing, but it's the Flyers, and the Rangers are a good team. Yeah, we have a couple people out in protocol, but this team is mostly good, and you just feel it's a fragile confidence, just like it was the other night. We get into the third period. Shesterkin, great stop on Atkinson early in the period. 4 minutes in, Philadelphia controlling more of the play. 6 minutes in, Shesterkin, great save on a tip-in try right after, and then right after that, the Rangers have a chance in front, so both teams trading very fast chances. Sealer comes right back in, and he crashes the net. So he tries to go backhand, forehand, right in front of the crease. He ends up crashing the net, knocking Igor over. The puck ends up going in the net, but after the net is knocked off the mooring, so obviously it doesn't count. 7.5 minutes in, Schneider just walks right into the circle and he rips one. He misses the net, but that would have been incredible if he had a 2-game goal streak in his NHL debut games, I should say. Fourth line, hard-working shift. Again, just like the first line in the end of the second period, just grinding, keeping the puck in the offensive zone, not letting Philadelphia get it back into the neutral zone. Shots 7-4 in favor of Philadelphia halfway through this period. So they are really pushing, trying to win this game, as they have lost now 7 games in a row. They had lost 6 in a row coming into tonight, and at 10 minutes and 11 seconds into the period, York puts Philadelphia up 2-1 with a point shot that it hits something just barely on the way in. There was 2 Rangers in the path of this shot, and I think it was just gently tipped by one of them to get past Shesterkin. But halfway through the third period, Philadelphia is up 2-1, and they are looking good to stop that 6-game losing streak. Philadelphia comes right back after. They almost score again immediately after that goal, but Rangers clean it up. And then 37 seconds after that goal, Hedl would snap a 10-game goalless streak, and he would get the Rangers back tied. Beautiful passing play, kind of tic-tac-toe. It was Philadelphia kind of got in the way of that final pass in front of the net, but it does end up getting to Hedl, puts it in the net. Rangers tie it back up 2-2. So Philadelphia leads in this game for 37 seconds. I hope they enjoyed it. Scramble in the crease, but Shesterkin covers it up. And then at 13:30, Kreider scores another deflection goal. So he has goals in 2 straight games. It was a Fox shot. So he had 2 assists tonight, actually, too. So he's still either first or second. He's been battling with Hedman for points by a defenseman pretty much all season, so I'm sure they're still very close. 4 minutes left. A dump-in gets behind Shesterkin and hits the post. It was scary. It was a dump-in from the neutral zone that gets tipped, and it takes an awkward bounce, and it gets past Shesterkin and hits the post and comes back in front. He's able to cover it up. That would have been an awful way for the Flyers to tie this game at 3. A neutral zone knuckle puck, I should say. 2:20, Flyers pull the goalie. Rangers don't end up scoring an empty net tonight, but it doesn't matter. They don't need it. They win 3-2 to put together 2 wins in a row. They went 3-2 on this 5-game road trip. They are back home on Wednesday against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Stats at the end of the game, shots 27-28 in favor of Philadelphia. They ended up coming back and taking the shots lead from the Rangers. Face-off, 47.4%. I think the Rangers have lost the face-off percentage in most of their games this season, but like I always say, it doesn't matter how many face-offs you win, it's which face-offs you win. Power play went 1 for 2, hits 23-33 in favor of Philadelphia, blocks 18-15 in favor of the Rangers. The trivia question of the evening. Braden Schneider scored a goal in his NHL debut last game at the age of 20. There are 2 Rangers defensemen in Rangers history that scored in their NHL debut younger than 20 years old. Who were those 2 defensemen? And I did not know either of them. It was Harry Howell in 1952 and Mario Marais in 1977, both of them at the age of 19. So Braden Schneider becomes the 3rd youngest Rangers defenseman to score in their NHL debut. So that's got to feel pretty good. They put together a win. They get up to 25-10-4, continuing to lead the Metropolitan Division, which also has to feel good. Like I said, they're back in action Wednesday at home against Toronto, who they beat early in the season. Shesterkin absolutely stole that game. And then Toronto beat them, when was that? That was a little later in the season, probably a month and a half ago. So the season series between the Rangers and Toronto is tied 1-1. We'll see if the Rangers can win and make it 2-1 for the season series. But that's Wednesday night. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.